When you lose a tournament like this, that we did last year, it's gut-wrenching, really. The win last year was really special, especially because it was up and down. I just didn't know which way it was going to go.
We had a good run first, then we ended up in a bad situation and it looked like we were done already.
Our emotions last year here were very up and down because we were down early and then we went on a crazy run where we won a bunch of matches in a row.
I think we were around 4 points up going into one of the sessions and they dominated 2 sessions, and then we managed to come back and we only just lost in the end.
The momentum went the other way and we could feel it coming at us full force for a while. And so to close that out before it got down to a final match was a relief.
It's always disappointing to lose, doesn't matter what tournament it is, and especially what this plays. We have the home crowd and we had our chances there in the end, so it was kind of disappointing, but I think we are ready for this year.
To square off against Europe's best and bring it back to the US was a nice feeling.
The 888 Poker Weber Cup 13 returns for Session 3. Team USA have just edged ahead in this best of 33 match competition, but Team Europe aren't far behind. It's 7-5 at the moment. Hello and welcome to the Barnsley Metrodome, where we've already seen some spectacular bowling in this clash of sporting superpowers. Well, it's already turning into one of the great Weber Cups. Team USA led after the first session. In Session 2, Europe fought back. They're still behind, but not by much. This is how things are panning out for Session 3. It starts with a team match, a Baker match, and then 5 intriguing singles lineups. So much to look forward to, but now it's time to meet the players. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Team Europe. And now the reigning Weber Cup champions, it's Team USA. We are ready to get underway, so let's hand you over to Cass Edwards and Simon Golding.
Game 13 of Weber Cup 13. As Team Europe take to the stage against Team USA. All 4 bowlers from both sides involved in this one. And the Baker game, Europe would dearly love another point. They picked up a point from the last Baker, and that gave them a little bit of protection early on in the last session. And they might need it, because we go from Baker to 5 straight singles to finish the session. And one of the interesting factors within that, Cass Edwards, is that the captain sat on the end there of Team Europe, Osku Palermaa, bowls twice, back-to-back in the singles, and that could be an interesting moment in this Weber Cup.
Yes, indeed, Simon. It could be a gamble that may well pay off, because we know how powerful Osku is. But it's just a matter of waiting and see. And at the moment, we're hoping that Game 13 will be lucky 13 for the European side in the Baker.
Team USA captain Chris Barnes up to the line. And he takes a very convincing strike first up. We've got a change on the oil pattern for this session, Cass, just a touch longer.
Yes, Simon. Our linesman, Ross Gibson, tells us that the oil break line is now down to 41 feet of this 60-foot lane. And the more that these guys play on it, of course, the oil will move down, slowly edging towards the head pin, which will make the break point change as the games go on. But they're aware that it's at 41 feet, so they're looking for 19 feet of dry lane in the back end. And that's where they want the ball to hook up. And the revs to take account of themselves. And although Mika hit the pocket brilliantly there, it looked really good. It turned the 10-pin around just a tad, but it still stood there. So it can't be the double, and it can only be a spare. Great looking shot straight down the lane. Nice rotation into the pocket, and unfortunately that 10-pin is still standing.
So out comes the Spare ball for Mika. He still dumps it down the lane. Yes, you naughty 10-pin. Don't do that again.
Is that what he said?
Along those lines, I think. But it's clean. You know, that's your fallback position. If you can't make a strike, just make sure you clean them out with 2 deliveries. Team USA step up then to work that strike from Chris Barnes.
Yes, and the next man, of course, is their strike machine, Mr. 300 himself, TJ Tommy Jones.
Well, he fell off that one just a little bit and then grabbed his hip and cast. That just tells us that maybe Tommy Jones' long-term injuries, had knee problems, but that has now transferred into the hip socket. Watch him fall off this to protect the hip.
Simon, you're actually quite right. Yes, well observed. He has had a hip problem as well as a knee problem over the last about 1.5 years. And occasionally you do see him get to the approach line and hold that hip as if in some sort of pain or the other.
Pain or not, though. 2 strikes in a row for Team USA. Dom Barrett, youngest member of Team Europe, youngest man at the Weber Cup by a year. Steps up and finishes off nicely. So good strike there, gets Team Europe back online.
Yes, a nice looking shot from the European ranked #1 player this year, Dom Barrett. Out on the European ranking tour and having some great success, and this year will likely be the champion of that tour.
Bill O'Neill, the man that has struggled for Team USA and struggled again, leaves a baby split.
That baby split being the 4-pin and the 9-pin, which is left when the ball is very close to the pocket. It's just a fraction high on the headpin. Now this is a makeable spare. He can get his ball to fit on the left-hand side of that left-hand pin. It will bounce across and take the 9-pin away, but it's deadly accurate. Probably a 10-to-1 shot.
No, not going to happen. So an open frame for the USA. And look at that, immediately their maximum potential reduced to 266. And already in trouble. And wry smiles from all 3 of Bill O'Neill's teammates there, because they know that he's suffering. They know that he's really feeling the pressure of, well, as he's put it, letting his team down. And he did admit to being very nervous ahead of this Weber Cup. Stuart Williams then back in the team after a long time out, best part of 7 years.
Yeah, a softer speed on that shot from Stuart Williams, but made the pocket. Couldn't quite carry the 10-pin. So that comes his old faithful spare ball. Stuart, as viewers may know, is the first Englishman ever to win on the American PBA Tour earlier this year. Takes away the spare nicely.
Very tight indeed in the first game of this session. The Baker is a bit of a lottery. Very, very difficult to sit down for so many frames, step up, bowl one ball and sit back down again. And that doesn't always lead to good scoring.
No, it's a system of bowling that's not played very much around the world at all, especially by these professionals from the States. All these players, all 8 of these players, play the American Professional Bowlers Tour. And from this event, we'll be going straight back to the States to feature in the 2013 World Series of bowling. So this is just a stopping off point. Most of these players have been playing in Europe and the Far East for the last couple of months. And they certainly rack up the air miles.
Great from Mike Fagan. Came up with a new way of approaching this lane and the condition that was on it last time out by stepping a long way right and then just spearing that ball into the pocket. But went back to more of a traditional Mike Fagan delivery then with this longer oil pattern, but it didn't look good at all. Tight and tense Baker match at the start of session 3. More 10-pin action from Weber Cup 13 after the break.